dude. My nose is all stuffed. My head is pounding. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Look, gotta work on that Edgeworld movie.
No way, dude. You are too sick to be working.
But Billy, I'm okay. I feel perfectly.
Mark, there's no way you can work on a movie like this. Look, you should take it easy. Get some rest. The guys and I will take care of things for you.
I'm Ed. Lol. I'm Ed. Lol.
Or I'll take care of things for you.
It's nice to know that I have such loving, caring co-producers. You're all very special people.
Feel better soon, dude. Call me if you need anything.
He bought it. Incredible. One of the worst performances of my career, and he never doubted it for a second. How could I possibly work on a movie on a day like today? It's so beautiful. Well, time to stay inside and play some video games. As you may know, I'm on a bit of a break from this channel so that I can work on the Edgeworld fan movie. I'm still making quick smashes here and there, but I'm not putting all my time and effort into these videos anymore until I get the movie done. However, because it's my birthday, I have to do something to celebrate. But what can I do? Well, I can do Toy Story on the Super Nintendo, or, I could do this unlicensed Yu-Gi-Oh! Instructional DVD, or... Huh. I guess Mario's not ready to leave my radar just yet. If you've been following me since I started doing these reviews, you'll know that I spent the entirety of 2015 covering nothing but Mario games. I did just about all the main ones, from the original on the NES to Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. But there was one game that a lot of people thought I slacked on, and it wasn't even the main focus of the video. Obviously, I'm talking about Super Mario 64 DS. I wasn't originally going to give this game a full review, but due to the overwhelming amount of comments about it I got in my original Mario 64 video, and since Super Mario Odyssey was announced just a while back, I figured now would be a good time to give this game another chance. I lost the case for it, so it's naked. Don't look, kids.
Super Mario 64 DS, in case you couldn't guess from the title, is a remake of the original N64 game for the Nintendo DS. When I briefly talked about it in my Mario 64 video, I kinda sorta brushed over a few things. It turned out so bad that a majority of the comments in that video consisted of people telling me how much I goofed up. All about a part of the video that's like 2 or 3 minutes long. Gotta give them props for watching the rest of the video to get to that point, but I done did a stupid. I recall making it sound like I hated the game when really I don't. But let's go ahead and actually talk about it. I don't have any sort of capture device from my DS or my 3DS to get footage off the original cartridge, but fortunately the Wii U has it available for the Virtual Console service. Henceforth, this is the version I'll be playing for this review. Wait, did I really just say henceforth? What am I, like a knight or something?
My brother and I didn't have a Nintendo 64 growing up, but we were obsessed with our DS Lites when we got them for Christmas in 2006. And even though we got Mario 64 even though we got Mario 64 DS further down the line, it was still one of our favorite games for the system. So, how does this game in particular hold up after all these years? And does it hold a candle to the original? Tune in next time! Which is... right now!
Our first big difference from the console game is with the title screen. You can't mess around with Mario's face anymore, which some might see as a good thing, but instead tapping on it takes us to this drawing board which creates wireframe drawings of either Mario or Yoshi or even Luigi. You can even drag these around using the touchscreen, or you can erase them to create your own drawings. Truly, I am the next Da Vinci. Why do I sound like Stephen Hawking? Or if you're not an artist, you can just trace over a picture of Mario or Yoshi to try to feel like one. But you're not. You thief. This is cool, I guess, but for me, nothing tops a little misshapen Mario madness, even if it does give me nightmares. Alright, on to the main adventure. It starts out just like the original did. Princess Peach sends Mario a letter inviting him to the castle for some cake that she waits until the end of the game to bake. Lazy bimbo. And Mario arrives on the site. This time, however, he's joined by his brother Luigi and his arch-rival Wario.
I'm just here for the food.
After they do this, they go running inside as the camera pans up to show Yoshi sleeping on the roof of the castle. A nice little callback to his appearance in the original game. He wakes up in the same spot that Mario and the others came from, and I'm guessing Lakitu moved him there. Speaking of Lakitu, he tells Yoshi that Mario hasn't come back. I'm guessing Luigi and Wario went off to do their own thing, whatever that may be. So now it's up to our little green dinosaur to find them. Once he grabs the key to the castle from this innocent little rabbit, which doesn't explain how Mario and the others got in before, maybe they had the key and the rabbit stole them, who cares? Yoshi goes inside and is given some exposition from this toad over here. He gives us the same backstory from the original game. Bowser and his army have captured Princess Peach and stolen the Power Stars. Now Yoshi has to help retrieve them, while also needing to find Wario and the Mario brothers to help rescue the princess. Later we find out that the other three characters have been locked up behind these doors with their initials above them.
Wait, did Peach always have those rooms in her castle? And what were they originally meant to be used for? What do you think, dog, going up and down the stairs?
In order to get them out, you'll need to collect these keys that you get from certain bosses. These being Goom Boss, Chief Chili, who apparently has mustache envy, and Big Boo. See? It's not King Boo! I know it technically should be King Boo, and this is simply a mistranslation, but it's in the game, therefore I shall treat these two versions of King Boo as completely different characters from now on. Well, I already have, but I'm just emphasizing that for whatever. Anyway, bringing a key to one of these three doors will release the character inside, and then you can play as them. Wario. This was one of the big selling points for Super Mario 64 DS. But while the idea of it sounds really cool, I personally think the novelty wears off a bit too quickly. It's great that each character has their own unique attributes, which I'll talk about later, but even though the game gives you 4 to choose from, you really only need 2 characters to beat the game. You need Yoshi to get started, and Mario to do everything else. In fact, once you rescue Mario, you don't really need to play as the other 3 again. It kinda makes me wonder why they made us start the game as Yoshi. The only thing you really need him for is to rescue Mario. After that, he's pretty much useless. I'm only bringing this up because the box art makes such a big deal out of having more than one character to play as, and yet the game itself makes it so disgustingly optional. I would have liked to have it so that the game makes each character feel important, like change up some of the mandatory missions, like the Bowser battles for example, to make them suited for specific characters. And yeah, some characters are needed to complete certain missions, but like in the original Mario 64, beating the game doesn't depend on which missions you pick, it's simply a matter of having enough Power Stars to get to the final boss.
Again, the option to have multiple playable characters is great, and the points I'm addressing are simply inconsequential. I'm just surprised that something the developers put so much focus on in the advertising was made so easy to skip over in the actual game. Not bad, just a bit weird.
But how does everything else fall into place? Well, since Super Mario 64 DS is a remake of the original N64 game, it's safe to assume that it'll have a similar style of gameplay. And it does. There are 15 main worlds to explore, each one broken up into missions. Complete a certain task within those missions, and you'll be rewarded with a Power Star. With the remake, however, there are 7 missions per world instead of 6. So you know what that means? Yep, more Power Stars. 150 of them to be exact, and more ways of getting them. Most of the original game's missions are back and play out exactly as they did before, like the boss stars and the red coins. Some newer missions will require you to hit a switch to make a star appear and grab it before it disappears again. Other missions will have you collecting 5 silver stars to make a power star appear, but every time you take damage, you lose a silver star, and you can only grab the power star when you have 5 silver stars on you. There are plenty of new areas to explore as well. The areas where you find Mario, Luigi, and Wario's room keys are all unique. Well, not so much Luigi's, his is more of a variation of Big Boo's haunt. There's a new battle fort area in the castle courtyard, which reminds me of a battle course from Mario Kart. There's a white void that looks like every modern commercial I've ever seen.
Hello, it's me, Luigi. Woohoo, do you need a car insurance? Geico can save you 15% or more on a car insurance. Car insurance, that's pretty much what this background is for. Insurance commercials, very exciting. Woohoo.
There's even a nice little beach area, which... Wait. Is that music from Super Mario Sunshine?
I will never go back.
So, yeah, there's a lot of new stuff to do. But things like the Secret Slides 20-second star and the Secret Aquarium are all the same. That also means the 100 coin stars are back too, which are still mostly a chore to find, but the benefit of having other characters to play as can soothe the pain. Most of the time anyway. Okay, now let's get into those abilities. You start the game as Yoshi, and he comes equipped with some of his trademark techniques. He has the flutter jump from Yoshi's Island. Of course, he can use his tongue to devour his foes, and he can even turn them into eggs to throw at other enemies.
Disgusting!
He isn't without his limits, though, as he's the only character in the game that can't punch or kick. Oh, and he can't break blocks either. Not even a ground pound can smash him. Shame. Next up, we have the big guy, Mario! He's got everything he had in the original game. Every character shares the same triple jump, backwards somersault, long jump, dive, and breakdance.
That's the way I like it. La, 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 la.
But Mario is also the only character in the game that can do the wall jump. Thankfully, it's only for this game, as Luigi can do the wall jump in every other game after this one. After being absent in the original game, despite some internet rumors telling you otherwise, the Green Thunder finally gets his chance to shine here. Both he and Wario aren't required to beat the game, but I recommend playing as Luigi a lot. Not just because he's my favorite character in the Mario universe, but he's also the most fun to play as in my opinion. He has the fastest running speed, fastest swimming speed, highest jump, and greatest airtime thanks to this hovering backwards somersault. Also, he can run on water for a short time. Finally, there's Wario. And honestly, I think he's the least fun to play as. He's slow and his jump is unimpressive, but he can break these black bricks. And that's all he's really good for. I wish they gave Wario more to do. If they can give Yoshi all the stuff he had in Yoshi's Island, why couldn't they give Wario some of his abilities from the Wario Land games, like the shoulder dash or something? But there we go, we have our characters. And like I said before, you can switch between them before starting a mission by going to this area in Peach's castle and entering that character's room, assuming you have them unlocked already. But what if you wanted to switch between them during the mission? Well, you can't, but sometimes you can find their hat in a stage. While you're playing as one character, you can randomly find another character's hat and put it on, turning you into that character and giving you their abilities. This will be needed for missions like the first race against Koopa the Quick, who won't race against anyone but Mario, and states that he's been wanting a rematch with him even though this is supposed to be the first time they meet.
So, is this game supposed to be a remake or a sequel? Make up your minds, developers! You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Every time you take damage from an enemy while wearing another character's hat, you lose the hat and turn back to your normal self. While the hat does disappear if you don't get it back in time, it reappears in a different location on the map, so you don't lose it completely, which is good. I will say, I kinda wish they incorporated the switch system from Super Mario 3D World, where you could pick which character to play as before entering a level. The closest thing we get to something like that is when you start a level as Yoshi after unlocking more characters, you can pick which hat he puts on at the start of the mission. That's kinda helpful, I guess. Like in Mario 64, classic power-ups are nowhere to be found, with the exception of the Super Mushroom, which turns your character into a giant. So it's more like the Mega Mushroom from New Super Mario Bros. And you know what? This joke is totally warranted. Aside from that, no other classic power-ups are present. Not even the special caps from the original Mario 64 come back. So what do we have in their place? Power flowers and, in Mario's case, feathers. Not like that, you frickin' weirdo. Grabbing a power flower will give your character a special ability for a short time, and each character gets their own unique power. The Metal and Vanish abilities are given to Wario and Luigi respectively, but don't last as long as they do in the original game, while Mario and Yoshi are given completely new abilities. Mario inflates like a balloon, similar to Super Mario World, and Yoshi is able to breathe fire, almost like he ate one of those watermelons from Yoshi's Island.
Man, they really love pulling out the Yoshi's Island references, don't they? I mean, not that Paul would have anything to complain about with that. He loves this game. Just make sure not to pull it out in public, okay? Wait, what am I talking about right now?
Power flowers can be found in these question blocks like the special caps in the original game, but when you're playing as Mario, hitting these blocks might sometimes give you a feather. It's not the cape feather, it's just a feather that gives Mario the wing cap. Yeah, only Mario can use the wing cap, even though everybody can use it in the versus mode. Oh yeah, this game also has multiplayer. In this mode, up to 4 people control different colored Yoshis, and the main goal is to get the most power stars before time runs out. I would show you footage of me playing with other people, but since I'm playing the Wii U Virtual Console version, I can't. This would have been a perfect game to use that whole connect 2 gamepads to the same console thing Nintendo was talking about back when people were still interested in the Wii U. Don't worry, buddy, I still love you. I don't even have a Switch yet, that's how much I love you.
Hey man, not cool.
You stay out of this!
Okay, I think now's the time to address one of the complaints I brought up in my original Mario 64 video, the controls.
While Super Mario 64 controlled very smoothly and efficiently when controlling Mario and the camera on a 3D space, Super Mario 64 DS feels a bit clunkier. The original DS models didn't have analog sticks to move your character, so you'll have to either use the stylus and touchscreen, which is a nightmare even if you are left-handed, or move your character with the D-pad and use the run button to pick up speed.
And to everyone who's been telling me, you can just play the game on the 3DS with the cervical pad, why don't you just play it on the 3DS? I'm Irish, why am I Irish playing on the 3DS? I know! I knew you could do that all along! I only talked about the D-pad controls because that was how it was originally meant to be played. Besides, even if I did play on the 3DS, it still wouldn't be as fluent as the original.
Playing on the 3DS can make the controls feel a little better, but my hands still feel cramped when I'm trying to do multiple things at once. On the left side, I'm using the L button to center the camera behind me, and the D-pad, or circle pad, to control my character. On the right side, I'm using the R button to crouch and perform long jumps, the Y button to run faster, the B button to jump, and the A button to attack. It feels imbalanced, and it's not as comfortable on my hands as the original, which I can play on the Wii's Virtual Console service with a cozy GameCube controller. Now, you're probably thinking, well, on the Wii U Virtual Console, if you don't like how the buttons are placed, you can change the button commands to make it more pleasant for yourself. Well, guess what? I can't. Customizable button layouts don't work for DS games on the Wii U's Virtual Console. And it's even worse for me because I also have the Wii U Virtual Console version of the original Mario 64. So not only do my hands still get cramped, but I also get buttons mixed up between the two. The attack button is now the jump button, and the jump button is now the attack button. When I'm playing on a handheld, I can get used to it, but when I play it on the same console that I have the original on, I can't help but let it throw me off guard. I wouldn't have to let it throw me off guard if I could just change the button layout.
This is part of the reason why having DS games on the Virtual Console is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it means I can get my own DS footage without using someone else's, but it's a curse because I can't change how the buttons are mapped to suit my likings. But at least you get to look at the manual. I don't know why it's sideways, it's kind of disorienting. And there's artwork of Mario taken from the original game, which is kind of jarring next to the new artwork. And Wario's got this little black dot on his finger, I'm not sure what that's about. My neck is starting to hurt from looking at this. Ow, what was that?
So just to finish up with the controls, They're fine, but they don't work remarkably well for me. But if you don't want to put up with these controls for the entire adventure, you can blow off some steam in the rec room. Wait, Toad's worried about Princess Peach chewing him out?
Okay, I'm sure it means that he's gonna get in trouble, but that sounds... I'm not touching that one. I don't know where it's been.
Scattered throughout the castle are different colored rabbits. They're like Mips from the original, only there's more of them and they don't make Alice in Wonderland references. Catching these rabbits will give you keys to unlock minigames in the rec room. But the rabbits are color coordinated to each of the 4 main characters, and they only appear if one of them is in the same specific room as the rabbit. It's hard to explain, but rabbits. Also, why aren't Wario's rabbits purple? Sorry, just a minor nitpick. These minigames are pretty good time wasters, I must say. They're nothing special, but they have their charm. A lot of them can surprisingly be very addicting, like the Wanted game. I always had fun with this one. You have to find one of the 4 characters in a swarm of severed Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Wario heads. Sounds weird, but it's so hard to put down. The minigames are separated into different genres: action games, casino games, and puzzle games. Again, some of them can be very addicting, but not all of these minigames are fun. Like Super Mario Slot. It's just a slot machine. Oh, wait, I got a 3-star combo! How in the world? Trampoline time is kinda boring. You have to draw trampolines for all these Marios to jump on to get into these doors, and I can only be sucked into it for so long without switching to something else. And the pedal picking game? Just why? Back to the main adventure. Aside from all the new missions and the extra power stars, there isn't anything too different in terms of how it's structured. You grab a certain number of stars, fight Bowser, grab the key to the next area, and repeat that process about 2 more times. After we collect all the power stars we need, this time being 80 instead of 70, Mario can get past the endless stairs and reach the last Bowser area. Only Mario. Because it's always about him.
Selfish jerk.
All the Bowser fights are exactly the same as they were in the original game, only Bowser himself is sporting a much better looking character model. I'll always have a soft spot for the original Bowser, just for how friggin' weird he looks, but this new version is definitely easier on the eyes. That, and I can't look at this other model without thinking of SMG4. Man, that guy is so funny. While we're on visuals, I gotta commend Mario 64 DS for giving the look of the original game a much needed overhaul. But graphically, it's very jagged looking. I guess they wanted to show that the Nintendo DS was capable of pulling off full 3-dimensional worlds like the Nintendo 64 did with the original. So for an early DS game, I'll cut it some slack. Not much to say on the audio side though. The music is exactly the same, and Mario and Bowser's voice clips are all the same too. Most of Luigi and Yoshi's voices are taken from other games like Super Smash Bros. And Luigi's Mansion, and Wario's dialogue is unique to this game. At least I think it is. One cool thing about the voice acting is that Leslie Swan, a member of the Nintendo Treehouse who provided Peach's voice in the original game, actually recorded new dialogue for Peach in this game. Unfortunately, they all took a hit in terms of quality. They're not as clear as the voices in the original, but again, this is the Nintendo DS, so I won't give it too much of a hard time. Well, time to wrap this up. Mario throws Bowser into these spike bombs. Why are they still here? The castle gets its power back, and Princess Peach is freed from within the castle walls. All thanks to Yoshi.
Wait, what?
Okay, I know Yoshi is the one who rescued Mario in the first place, but Mario pretty much did all the work. He's the one who fought Bowser all those times.
Thank you all.
Oh yeah, we all did a good job. Especially you, Wario, even though I barely used you, you big fat garlic-eating prick. So the day is saved, and Princess Peach remembers that she forgot to bake that cake she promised at the beginning of the game, and that brings us to the end of Super Mario 64 DS.
Like with the original game, I don't really bother trying to get all the power stars, but for those of you wondering what happens when you get them all in this version, it's basically the same as the original, only Yoshi doesn't give you 100 lives, you know, since you can play as him. And you're probably wondering how I'm showing you footage of the roof of the castle even though I didn't get all the power stars. Well, Mike helped me use this trick where I keep jumping backward up this hill until I reach the top. I think I did pretty good. Oh, no! So, yeah, that's Super Mario 64 DS. How does it hold up?
On its own, Super Mario 64 DS is a fun 3D platformer with a ton of charm and a lot of replayability. but compared to the original on the N64, it's just okay. Super Mario 64 DS has a lot more to offer than the original game, with more stars to collect, more characters to play as, and a wide assortment of minigames, almost all of which would be reused for the multiplayer mode in New Super Mario Bros. But I think the big thing that lets it down for me is the fact that it's on the Nintendo DS. While Mario 64 took advantage of as much of the Nintendo 64's hardware as possible, they had to compensate for a lot of things when putting it on the DS, and I think it suffers because of that. I really wish they waited to release it on the 3DS, like with Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Star Fox 64. They could have even made it exclusive to the new 3DS, with the C-Stick being used to more comfortably control the camera. But that's highly unlikely at this point. As it is, Super Mario 64 DS is a decent remake of the N64 classic. But if you've somehow managed not to play Mario 64 at this point, honestly, I'd say get the original on Virtual Console. Sure, the new content that the DS version has is great, but nothing beats the original for me. Except maybe the Galaxy games. And Super Mario Odyssey for sure. Hopefully. Super Mario 64 DS isn't bad at all, but I'd only recommend it to those who are the least bit curious to check it out.
Well, that just about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're willing to wait a little longer for my next review. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't have a schedule this time unlike the last 2 years, so it's just going to be completely random this year. You'll see what happens in the future. Until then, I have the next Quick Smash written. It's of the Lego Batman movie. Hopefully that'll be out soon. I'm also thinking about doing, if this is coming out on my birthday, I might have a Quick Smash of the Beauty and the Beast remake soon. If I do have it, then I'll put it here somewhere, or I'll just wave my hands around awkwardly like a Lovallo does. With that said, this is Mark, aka Marc Lovallo, change my name, I'll explain that some other time, bidding you all a smashing farewell. I'm gonna keep that. Bye. Wait, it's my birthday. That means I'm turning 20 years old. Holy crap! You're still here. It's over. Go home. Well, I guess you already are home since you're watching this on YouTube. Or maybe you're not at home. Maybe you're in school, in which case get back to class. Or maybe you're in church or at a rehearsal. Look, the point is, the video's over. I don't have anything else, so you can go click on something else. Wait, no. The video's on this side because it's YouTube, so click on one of these videos over here. There's nothing else here. I'm done. The video's over. If you're expecting like some kind of like Samuel Jackson thing where like standing at the window is like, I'll tell you about the Avenger Initiative. No, I'm not doing that. I don't really have the money for that. Well, I don't have any money at the moment. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, video's over, so why are you still watching this? There's really nothing else. I mean, what else were you expecting? Were you expecting Comfort Penguin to come in or Professor Realize? No, that's it. So, bye.